Hey there, folks. Pliskin by 51mm. And today I figured I'd do a little video. I had been meaning to do a video over the weekend, but I was too tired. I just laid around and relaxed mostly. Now there's not a whole lot going on. I mean, it's a dead time right now. Can't go out to go shoot, too cold, and I don't have much gun stuff to talk about anyway at this very moment. But I figured I would make a video on current world events because, some stuff you probably shouldn't really, even though I'm here in the United States, probably some stuff you really shouldn't be ignored. Yesterday, I do believe it was yesterday, because I've been keeping up on it, but haven't really got that much interested in until here in a couple of days ago. But yesterday, Russia invaded the Ukraine, sent a series of blitzkrieg style attacks that were, almost kind of like on par with how Hitler invaded Poland. But anyway, they invaded Ukraine, and then today, Joe Biden, let's go Brandon, had a little speech. I wasn't able to catch it, sadly. And then, not even an hour ago, I learned and seen where Russia has already retaken Chernobyl in the Ukraine. Now, those of you who are unfamiliar with what Chernobyl is, which at this point I'm pretty sure everybody knows what Chernobyl is, but there may be a few people who don't. In 1986, when the Ukraine was still Soviet territory, or Russian territory. I can't remember if they were part of the Soviet Union or just a part of the Warsaw Pact. Either way, Chernobyl had a big, massive nuclear power plant, and in 1986, that thing it melted down, it caught on fire, and released radiation. And ever since, the area of Chernobyl, that whole area there, has just been vacant land for the last almost close to almost 40 years. So nobody has lived there in nearly 40 years. It'll be 40 years in 2026. But nobody has lived there. And Russia just reclaimed it. Which, probably wasn't that hard of a takeover, seeing as how most of Chernobyl is vacant. Nobody lives there, but I do. I have watched videos on YouTube of people who have toured Chernobyl. They do have like a security force there and all that, kind of like little patrols, making sure nobody's up to anything suspicious. But Russia has marched in and retaken Chernobyl. And, a lot of people may be wondering why. Well, a long time ago, if my memory is, up to date, I could be wrong. There's always a possibility there. But I do remember hearing a long time ago, because I was really interested in Chernobyl for a while. I think everybody kind of is at some point, get interested in that. Even watch stuff at school about it. Underneath Chernobyl, there is large reservoirs of oil and, stuff that could be used as fuel. And I've also been watching a lot of newscasts and stuff. Our country and Germany are thinking about cutting that pipeline to Russia, because there's a big pipeline that runs from Russia to Germany. And they're thinking about cutting that as part of sanctions. Because now I'm kind of, going out on a limb here, because I've heard little bits and pieces of information. Nothing I say is, in totality. But Russia's economy, from what I understand, is not in the best of places when it comes to stuff like, fuel and stuff like that. But that's why they have that pipeline that runs to Germany. They're getting supplied fuel from Europe and vice versa. But if the United States, us, we correspond with Germany and we cut that off, Russia will have no fuel. Hold on here, I'm trying to hold my charger and phone at the same time. Let me put the charger in my pocket there. All right, my phone's about dead. But if we in Germany, shut that pipeline off to Russia, that'll hurt them in the fuel. But what old Putin might be thinking, and again, like I said, I'm just, thinking in my head what would be a logical reason for why he took Chernobyl. Many would think it's probably the nuclear power plant. I kind of think it may be the fuel reserves under Chernobyl days after. That way he has a trump card in case, you know, we cut the pipeline. He can't get fuel from Germany no more. But now he's taken Chernobyl in the Ukraine. He can pump fuel from the Ukraine. Or at least, put it in cans, reserve it, refine it, and then ship it back to Russia. That could be a viable strategy that I see him doing. Because, like I said, I heard long ago that Chernobyl sits on top of a lot of oil, but since it's radioactive now from all that nuclear radiation from where that power plant blew up or caught on fire, I think it kind of blew up. They said the roof blew off of it, and you could see the core and the reactor down in it for a few years still burning. But there's massive amounts of oil reservoirs under Chernobyl. And that might probably be what he's after. Just my thinking, hard to speculate. But I was thinking to myself, like, man, he's already, they just attacked last night, but he's already took Chernobyl. That's in the northern parts of the Ukraine. Kind of think it's right there next to Kiev, the capital city of the Ukraine. And I also seen where, I don't know, there's a bunch of footage and stuff I was watching where they've already attacked that main airport in Kiev. Bombed it, I believe. And then I've seen maps and stuff. I've watched a bunch of different news agencies on it. They showed a map where there was a bunch of strikes. And there was even bombings as far as western Ukraine. Like, that's way on the other side of where the initial invasion started, land invasion. It don't look too good for Ukraine. That's not me taking sides. That's just me, using what I've seen so far and putting my own judgment in it. That's probably not a good thing to do, because speculating and predicting is not something. When it comes to stuff like this, that's not a wise thing to do. Speculate and predict, because it's like playing chess. The pieces on the board where they move is you won't know until they've already made their move. You can guess and speculate, but that's just a guess and speculation. So it don't look too good for the Ukraine, and the West, NATO allies, us, we're putting sanctions and stuff on, but I don't know if they'll have any effect. They may have some effect, but there again, like I said, Putin's moved into Chernobyl. Chernobyl's got a lot of oil, and I don't think he gives a rat's ass whether the land is radioactive or not. He sees easy resources that he can take, so he's going to move in and take them. That's what any country would do, even ours. Big open land, nobody on it, very light military presence. A lot of fuel and reserves there for the taking. Why not, And that's just the nature of war. The whole Russia's desperate for resources, so they're doing what they feel is in their best interest. They haven't struck a NATO country yet, and I hope they don't. But the old Brandon administration isn't showing much backbone. Even Zelensky there, they had a big UN meeting, and the NATO countries are coming up with all these sanctions and stuff, and Zelensky's like, well, why aren't you putting these sanctions on right now? Russia hasn't done it. Why are you waiting until after they invade? But that's my little take on world events right now. Personally, I think the whole thing's stupid. Conflict, a wise leader would believe, military action into another, kind of on par level country like Ukraine near almost about the same military level. Maybe not to the same extent, but this isn't like moving into like Vietnam or back like when the U.S. fought the Vietnam War, or going up against little third world nations and all that. This is a another European country. A wise leader would think maybe I shouldn't do that, but here's old Putin. Boy, oh boy, he's he's ate up, moving into Europe, kind of like in the same fashion Hitler took over Poland. It's kind of creepy in that sense. Uh, but other than that, I can't really. My only opinion is it's stupid. You got the world power, Russia, and I understand. Like I said, from my understanding, what I've heard, they're desperate for resources, but at the same time, at what point do you sit back and realize, gee, I could start World War III, and you're like, well, I could start World War III, but I think I'll go through with it anyway, that's kind of because a world war, especially with what the nations of the world have now, not good. I mean, like I explained in the comment to another person like a few days ago, I said, World War, like you're fighting World War like how World War II was fought. Them days are over. It's no longer just, boots on the ground. When you get two big industrial nations like, say, our country, the United States, and Russia, world powers, that shit will get escalated pretty damn freaking quick if it gets bloody enough. Because it's not good. Any idea that would be a good idea is absolutely fucking retarded, in my opinion. And that's an opinion shared by many. But anyway, like I said, that's been my take on current world events. I don't think it's good. I feel sorry for the people of the Ukraine, but I'm here in the United States. It's not a whole lot, It isn't affecting me, but it will soon be affecting everybody because the world oil prices. They already said you know, oil reserves and all that's already up over $100. So I'll be feeling that at the pump. That just it is what it is. But I feel sorry for the people of Ukraine. I once knew a girl or young woman off of Google Plus who I used to talk with a lot. She was from the Ukraine, and I truly hope she is not in the middle of all that over there, along with everybody else. But war is war. It's awful. And my only advice to anybody who's in the Ukraine right now would be just get out, leave. It's not worth, your life to stay where you're at, because this is Russia we are talking about here. And I know I've talked to people from Russia as well, and a lot of people from citizens of Russia do not agree with what's going on either. It's just a big mess. But anyway, I figured I'd give my opinion. I'll catch you guys all in the next video.